Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Howdy all, the old captain here. And we're wearing the glasses. Friends of mine said, hey, you know Sandman did a video on you? And I'm like, yeah, it's Sandman. Look him up. I like Sandman. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a big tell. But the guy was, among many other very, very cute and humorous complaints, he was complaining because my glasses created a glare. There, like that. Let's do it like that. I'll talk like this the entire time. I'll just glare everything out. His complaint was, of many, was that my glasses glared. And it's like, wow, okay. So we're going to put on glasses. Anyway, Asshole Consulting, go to assholeconsulting.com. And I'll consult you as long as you pay me. Hey, asshole, big fan. Here are the details about myself, my goals, and my dilemmas. I'm a 31-year-old male, GED, no degree, working as an unskilled laborer at a pretty okay, I don't want to identify him, at a union facility in Appalachia for 7 years now, making over $32,000 gross a year with vested pension, great health insurance, vacation, guaranteed raises, etc. And the work is relatively easy and allows me to do entrepreneurial things on the side. I also have culinary training and good references and contacts. I'm a smart guy living simply and have lots of hard assets, metals, firearms, tools, and a cushion of cash with no debt but no real credit, good or bad. Well, see that? Yeah, don't worry about that. Unless you're gonna need it, your credit. Just go get a credit card and pay it off. Keep your balance at about average and pay it off. That's about what you have to do. I recently met my unicorn woman who wants to spend her life with me and is dedicated to our goals to set up a sustainable homestead here in Appalachia and start a YouTube channel documenting it. Here are my dilemmas. One, I'm worried that my current job will not be sufficient to achieve the lifestyle we want to build, especially if you have kids. A good friend also mentioned I may have a limited time to switch careers, as no one will want to. Okay, let's just stop right there. You're jumping all over the place. You can have kids if you want. I know people who are on shoestring budgets and they can do it. Okay, I know one young lady, well, of course, and a man too. They're raising 6 children because they budget. So you can do it. Okay, you may have to give up some things. You may not be able to buy your firearm every 6 months or so. But you can do it. But it's going to be a lifestyle change. The other thing is, I'd say the woman's going to work, because by God, women are equal. And it depends on how many kids you're going to want to have. But what is she doing? Is she working as well? Maybe build up a war chest as you guys are married, and then once that's all done, there's a big enough war chest, and that will last your wife 5 years while she stays at home, takes care of the kid. Until the kid goes off to kindergarten, then she go back to work. So plan that out with your to-be wife here, and talk to her. Do you want to have kids? That's kind of an important thing to discuss before you get married. By the way, you might want to, flush out that idea a little bit. But yeah, it's doable. But you're just gonna live a poor life, and it can get, trust you me, it can get to a point where it's too poor, and then the kids are actually starting to suffer. But yeah, if you're a loving father and she's a loving mom, and you guys spend time with your kids, you can have a family on relatively little income. Just do the budgeting and prepare for a lifestyle change. So all right, look, that's addressed. I mentioned I may not. Okay, a good friend also mentioned I may have a limited time to switch careers, as no one will want to hire a 35-year-old by then. Dude, no, that's wrong. People want to start hiring you when you're 35. The reality is no one wants to hire you until you're 35. Maybe 55 somebody doesn't want to hire you, but 35 people are saying oh, you're an adult? Maybe we'll hire you and pay you. I mean, seriously. My increase in pay has had when I did have a career, it had nothing to do with job experience. It only had to do with my age, because they know I wouldn't settle for less. Probably one of the best things young men can do, although the problem is your face doesn't age quite that well. Grow yourself some facial hair and put in a touch of gray. See if you can do that, a touch of gray in your hair or whatever. That seriously, I truly believe that does more for you than, of course it says on your resume when you graduated, so they can tell your age, but anyway. My job reimburses for training, for facility-related training. so I can get discounted education. I prefer to stay blue collar. My thoughts are electrical, plumbing, welding, HVAC, or refrigeration repair, etc. These would also give me skills to use on my homestead. I don't want to work with the general public if possible. What would give me the best return on investment for least time spent training and gross salary? It depends. It's normally welding. Welding normally is the highest paying out of most of the blue collar trades. The real problem though is that depends on where you are. It could be electricians. Like if you have a booming area, I guess like Vegas is booming now, and they need electricians and contractors. But welding traditionally has been. What I do is you can look it up on the internet. Look at West Virginia is where you're at, somewhere out there. I'm unfamiliar with the East Coast geography. They gotta have some kind of the Department of Labor of West Virginia. Go look it up. They got projections. They got starting salaries. They got estimated projected demand. But the safe bet would be welding. Again, though, that really depends. Wait, don't they got mining out there? Well, you don't want to go into the mining field, but you don't want to be underground. Anyway, look into it. They're all good ideas. They're all good ideas. I mean, not a lot of unemployed plumbers or welders or HVAC or refrigeration repair. Certainly nowhere near to the level of an English major. But welding would probably be your best bet. But do some research first, because Lord knows there could be a glut of welding majors. You never know. If I leave the facility where I work, should I cash out my pension, take the penalties, and reinvest into my land or hard assets? I'm not familiar with pensions, but I know they're trending towards being cut out even in the private sector. Well, this is different. You can be bought out of your pensions. It depends with the union and all that. But I can't tell you what to do. You go talk to a financial advisor, because I am not a certified financial planner or financial advisor, right? I can only tell you my thoughts and opinions. But you have to do your own research on this. But man, pensions? Are you fucking kidding me? That's golden. You want to hold on to your pension. Matter of fact, I would be I'd stick with the job you got now. Unless you really want to get out of that job. If you like your job, I'd stick with it, because you don't get pensions. Now, there's a drawback, and that is whether the pension is funded or not. Okay, now you can look this up, okay, because I think you are public. Yeah, you're public sector. In the private sector, you should be able to look it up as well. As you've seen in Detroit, Compton, and other shitty places liberals and leftists have taken over, these cities, these municipalities have gone bankrupt. And these people who were promised pensions all of a sudden found out they didn't get no pension because there was no fucking money. So what you want to do is you want to go and find out what percentage of your pension is funded. And what that means is they have, ABO, VBO, and PBO. Adjusted benefit, vested benefit, and projected benefit obligations. Basically what you want to do is find out, as a percentage of what they are expected to pay out, what they owe to all their pensioners, all the people they got to pay pensions to for the life of this pension, versus what they have in the pension in terms of assets. Because what happens is you pay your dues to the union. That money in part goes to finance the Democrat Party, and about that much of it goes into your pension. So it's invested in assets and securities and real estate investment trusts and bonds and mutual funds and all that other stuff. And ideally, the amount of money or assets invested in the pension is equal to their liabilities, what they have to pay out. You want a pension funded at 100%. What you really want is a pension fund funded at like 120%, because then you got a little bit of extra wiggle room there in case stock prices, tank. So you want to be 100% or more funded. Now, a lot of these pensions, because once again, ran by Democrats who cannot do simple subtraction or addition. True, that's how simple it is. They file for bankruptcy. They say, fuck you and your pension. We're not paying you. And then you guys are left out to dry. And this is what happened with the city pensioners over in Detroit and other municipal towns. So I would look into and see what your pension funding is, what percentage that is. Should be able to look it up on the internet. And if it's like 20%, which would be horrible, maybe cash it out, because it's unlikely you're gonna get it. But if it's 100%, even 80% is pretty good, because these assets theoretically do grow over time. But since you're such a young fella, I would definitely keep a pulse on that. Keep your finger on that, like annually. Take a look at what's happening to the pension funding, definitely as you approach retirement. Now, it may come at a point in time, this is down the road, they may want to buy out of your pension because it applies a fixed cost, because the pension goes until you're dead. Well, they don't know when you're going to die. So it's a actuarial or an actuary's game to estimate and do these projections of life expectancy and all that. So a lot of times what they've been doing, especially in the private sector, is they've been buying people out of their pension so that they have a fixed cost. Like, okay, here's your $300,000. They take it out of the pension fund. There it is. Now that's taken care of. We know that. Bills taken care of. We have less volatility and less unknown variables in pension calculations. But still, if you can get that pension is fully funded, and pensions are all right. Pensions are good. They're like the unicorns. Your wife, she's the unicorn woman. Yeah, pensions are the unicorn retirement plan. But as long as they pay. So again, you should do that annually and check that. And I know, the other, should I cash it out and then invest in land or your hard assets? Well, again, I can't tell you what to do. I wouldn't. Me personally, fuck no. I'd hold on to that pension is what I'd do. And then I'd save up money and go buy a land, go buy a house like everybody else does. And again, you can buy your house right. It's not like it's the pension or the land. If you buy the right piece of land, you build your own house. Sounds like you got some blue collar skills in you there. You can get you don't need a big house. You and your wife go live in a cabin, and there you go. Heck, put a trailer on it. You don't have to live expensively. 3, I don't like debt, but I would like to get my land sooner than later, as it will effectively pay interest, as my orchard and garden will be literally growing my investment sooner. I like to get the hard work in while I'm youngish. Is it worth taking on the debt of a loan to get my goal going sooner? And if so, what can I do to help that, since I have no credit? Here's the problem. I know you don't like taking on debt, but you're probably going to have to buy land. That's just how it works. When you make large purchases, you're going to have to buy land. And yes, I understand if you have an orchard and a garden, trees have to grow and there's like a time, it takes 5 years for a tree to mature and start producing fruit. I understand you want to get that in younger. Well, you're younger, then do it. I would talk to a banker, see what you qualify for in terms of a loan. Bring in your wife, because you guys will co-apply, are you guys married? What was he from? The dream girl? Oh, you met, wants to spend the rest of her life. Well, that'd be another thing. Get married if you want. If you guys are going to get married, okay? Don't blow any fucking money on your goddamn wedding, okay? Take that money, use it as a down payment. And then apply for a loan, or inquire with a banker now. Bring in your financial statements. Find out what you guys qualify for in terms of a mortgage and for land. That will be one less variable you have to worry about. Then you could go shopping. You could say, oh gosh, I don't have enough money. We don't qualify for enough. It will also say, sweetheart, you got to work for a while so we can afford the payment of this house or this land, blah, blah, blah. Or it may say, oh, I got to get a second job. And then you got to go and get the money there. But it'll give you a vantage point and fill in some other variables and answer some questions and provide a little bit more. It'll narrow down your answer in terms of what you have to do. Like I said, will it effectively pay interest as well? Because I'd like to get a higher work. Is it worth taking on debt to get a loan to get my goal sooner? The other thing, is it worth taking on debt of a loan to get my goal sooner? Let's talk about your goal. How do you know you're going to be profitable? I'm not talking. I know you're not trying to aim money. This isn't a money-making business. But how do you know that you're going to have crop yields? How do you know that this is going to come out the way you want it and you're not just going to waste your time? Have you ran projections? Do you plan on selling these crops, the yields? Right? Have you done any financial forecasting? Right? That's another thing you have to do. So what I want you to do is look at your land. I know it wasn't your original. Your goal is buy land, survivalist, self-supporting, blah blah blah. Okay. From there, and with the family even, from where you are now to there, do you have any financial projections? Can you make money off of this land and this real estate in the meantime? You don't even have to put a hut there. You don't have to put a house there. You just have the land and start farming it yourself. it may generate property already. You may want to buy the land and lease it out to a farmer and not dick around with the farming yourself. And when the farmer goes in there and farms the land, he's already tilled it and put in the infrastructure for you. That's another idea. But regardless, you got to do the financial projections to go from point A for where you are now to point B, family, self-sustaining house and all that. So what I would do, I mean, I know you think you're old. I know you're already worried. You're 31. I would go get your welding certification or whatever is most high paying and interests you. I mean, these are not bad things to choose from. I would, certainly let your preference have a say in the decision making. Get something on the side. Keep working as you are at your facility. See if there's a managerial route you could take. Get promoted from within. Try and make more money. You can't give this up. This is your money maker. This is your seed capital that's going to buy you your house and get you to your dream. Talk to a banker. Bring in the girlfriend's and yours 3 years of tax returns and finances, balance sheets if you have them. Find out what you guys qualify for together, and then see how much land that's going to get you, and then see if either you got to get another job, she's got to get another job, or she's going to have to work while you guys are married, and it's none of this fucking stay-at-home fun shit. All right. These will provide some, not concrete, specific financial answers and mathematical answers, but they're going to provide you limitations as to what can and cannot be done. Right? Thanks for your time. Do the video request drunk. Those are I wish I could, but we're talking about your financial future, so it's probably best to not watch it. We did it drunk and it said it was less quality than it was before. Oh, and this is for another complaint. In addition, let me do this right so the glare is perfect. In addition to the glare, I got the request on the Sandman video. They're like, he's always coughing. And because I have this allergic reaction many years when I was much younger, it's not controllable. But hey, physical handicaps, let's make fun. Best of luck to you guys. Toodles.